Okay, good evening everybody. Today I'm gonna introduce what is a ES, that expert system that using AI technology. So as example, I took example from that one. When we take aeroplane, that such kind of, I took example as Boeing 777 aeroplane. So such kind of those airplanes have ES permanently because some kind of failures of pilots or riders in this plane causes to crash the plane. So because of that reason, they use the ES expert system in those planes. And every latest model of aeroplanes have ES, but I know that you may not have a better idea about ES in a system on that such kind of aeroplane. So I'm going to introduce what is ES in an aeroplane. So now I'm going to tell you that ES, what is ES contains, that is it. ES, that expert system just developed by AI, that's artificial intelligence. And now the expert system developed by AI. So this is a basic idea, that not about the programming concept or that programming or developing expert system. Now I'm just introducing that what is expert system and how the AI is used in that expert system. Okay, and now you know that aeroplane. So there's a larger that we can take, that is the aeroplane, and we can take that as the aeroplane. So in the aeroplane, there's a I will not take the technical or some mechanism of that aeroplane. I'll take the ES system of that aeroplane. So we can divide the airplanes. So there's a massive database. Yes, database. Sometimes maybe local on it, I think. Okay, the database, and the database is maybe local on network because of the internal failure of that aeroplane. In such condition, yeah, they can connect to the network and get the database, because it's very important to use the database, because we had to use that. I'll show you how to do that. And there should be an automated module system. There's a model system, automated, quick, and dynamic models. There should be such kind of models to take a decision about this automated, quick, and dynamic model, because we had to, the aeroplane has to take the decisions quickly and automatically, because no need of aeroplanes, because such kind of accidental or some kind of emergency situations, because the pilots, when the pilots failure of a pilot, so the aeroplane needs to take decisions quickly and automatically, the right and the correct reliable decisions. So, and that is the automated, quick, and dynamic models there should be. And I again would remember that that is not actually how AI system or expert system in aeroplane, but I'm giving you a basic idea how is it done, and this can be used, because I don't know how to program so AI such now, but I'll explain. We can educate it and we can reach it, and you have to get a better idea and a basic idea about your mind, what is that AI and how it works, and such kind of AI systems, artificial intelligence. And now there are database and automated, quick, and dynamic models. Now in another way, and there should be absolutely a power consumption, the automated power consumption to proceed that, because I predict that there should be, because dedicated power supply for ES. I predict that, because there should be absolutely dedicated power supply, because when system or current condition we can take that the aeroplane's basic and the primary power supply is down. So in such conditions the ES system should also be worked, because ES system fails of the basic and the primary power systems, so that would be not useful and it's not very suitable method. And a dedicated power supply for ES absolutely should be there. And now I'm gonna show you how a ES system is worked, and that is a conceptual mind, and that's not actually how it's done. You have to get a better idea and study about that. Okay, now the database. What is the database includes? And when we take the database, there are so many models and history of the plane. Okay, history of the plane, and there should be some there's most of recorded accidents and events, and most of recorded accidents and events occurred in similar planes. I'll show you what is it for, and just now listen. And there should be absolutely the database should be okay, that's enough. And history of the plane, and most of recorded accidents and events occurred in similar planes, and the more automated, quick and dynamic models. And I will explain that there are recorded accidents and events, and there are in another part, and we can check that another part. I'll explain that in the plane, you know that there's some conditions and status about the plane, and mainly latitude and the latitude and the altitude. I don't know what's the meaning of those, but I know the ideas about that. And altitude, and so the length of I'll take it to precise, the dimensions of the plane, and the dimensions of the plane, and the weight, and those are called the attributes of plane. That's dimensions and weight, they are attributes of that plane. We want to know about that. There are sensors using the airplane, so we have to also connect the relationship between all of those hardware and parts and status, and the weight and the temperature conditions, and both out external, I believe that external and internal, and temperature conditions. And you know that now another other environmental conditions. They are mounted by the airplane, and usually they are mounted by system. The airplane, they're using that in that airphone's dashboard, so we can see that some kind of airplane. I will show you, and that is dashboard of a plane, and we can see that, and the dashboard plane, and there's an advanced plane. So in these screens, and they are monitoring all of these conditions, latitude and altitude, and the temperature systems, and current status, engine status, and fuel status, and everything is monitored in this system. So there's a very, very impressive system in that aeroplane. And with the aeroplane and the speed, and that those attributes, speed of plane and speed of plane should be there. So absolutely the fuel conditions, and throttle. I'll show you throttle control status, and throttle control status, and what are those and such kind of things. So, and that's the engine RPM status and such kind of things, because I'm predicting those days. Absolutely, mostly they're not using, maybe not using those, but I logical think that there should be some kind of facts there, and so these attributes should be monitored by that ES system. And the history of plane, I'll take you that what important about that history of airplane. And the history of airplane contains, that's all is another color, so I think that's easy. And okay, and the history of airplane. Okay, and we can take the history of airplane, then failures that commonly happened, and that physical information, and development and update status. I don't use start all this information. Okay, and these are all examples. And so the failures of that commonly happen to that plane, and physical information, development and update information. So I'll show you how relationship is between built between those history of airplanes and that AI system later, and mostly the recorded accidents and events occurred in the airplane. I'll show you what is that, and you can take that. And okay, and now as example, I'll take the examples. Okay, in 1998, sorry, Boeing, I don't know how spells that. Okay, in 13, A12 has crashed according to engine failure. Okay, engine failure. So now there should be status about that failure, that RPM reason engine speed failure. I will use that. I'm using that examples. Okay, you don't get it too hard, too serious. And failure and engine speed failure, and there may be some what about those? Okay, power consumption. So power failure. Okay, now the reason and just the reason and the reasons. No, we use fixings that scientists used. Fixings the scientists used for those reasons, those failures. Okay, and fixing the and such kind of things. Right? So there should be a lot of examples for not example, a lot of accidents and the events happen to that such kind of similar planes and those. Okay, and this example is actually there aren't any A12 model of planes, I don't think, and 1998 I also get what as an example. You don't want to think about it. And reason, the engine failure or the power failure, the fixings that scientists use for those failures. So how now I'm going to tell that how that AI system worked of that. Okay, and this dynamic models I'm just to explain that. That's dynamic models, and now I'll show you later. And it also be irrelevant because this is used only a special event when the main primary power supply is cut down. Okay, now we think that I'll show that. Now we can think and such kind of current condition that A33 now A33 now plane, okay, and is going to crash, and that is the shouldn't be happen to those crash, and the pilots have to choose that automated system to do a decision, because the pilots don't have about relevant knowledge or some kind of absolutely they should be panic if they don't know about how that failure occurs, and so then that conditions they won't use ES system, and so by then the facts the A33 is going to crash. The pilots don't have enough knowledge about the failure, and now pilots have to let the ES system work on. Okay, the pilots have to let the ES system work on ES system, and they have to let the ES system to do that next decision, get the decision, and that is the current status about the plane and the problem. And where can I place that? So okay, now that is I will place that, and that is the fact. I will name it the emergency occasion. The emergency occasion, okay, and that's the emergency occasion. So now if this emergency occasion happens, so the ES system needs to power on. Okay, now how that procedure works. Now this is only a prediction. I am not again I'm noting you that this is only a prediction, so you don't have to get it too hard, but I think that is the most basic structure and the concept about that ES system in an aeroplane. So this ES system, expert system, is dedicated to the aeroplane, so doesn't work in other platforms. So there are some kind of another platform that automated medical system, so it is not connected to related to that one. There are absolutely the basic structure is relevant, but dedicated. So but that total structure is not such like that. This is a dedicated system for aeroplane system. Now A30 is grounded, so the ES system worked on. So the ES system worked on, and I'll make you the steps. Okay, 1, ES system works on. Okay, now this step 1 is ES system works on. Now this step 2 okay, replace it, and that step 1 ES system works on. So now the ES system needs to determine so what's the problem. Now the pilots no, absolutely not. The ES system automatically should be identify the problem. So the ES system first checks on, and so ES system should be checked on, should not must check if the airplane is in the suitable condition. Okay, and those conditions are is fuel okay, and is engine temperature okay, and is what should be the facts they are used? Yes, is latitude and latitude, altitudes, latitude, altitude, and okay, and is speed is exceeding or decreasing, and is the throttles and handles, joysticks are operating correctly. Okay, now that's enough. And the ES system need to check and absolutely there's a kind of that biased post system. If you're relevant, you need to remember that biased post system checks all input and output system of a computer, such like that. And ES system checks is fuel okay, is engine temperature okay, is latitude altitude okay, and is speed is exceeding or decreasing, it's okay, and is throttles and handle joystick are operating correctly, and etc. I don't mind there everything. And now, holy shit, what's happened there? Okay, and there and there. Okay, that's enough. Now okay, now step is there and there. Okay, now must check those conditions. So if any error is occurred, we take an example. So the error is the failure is the detected failure. The detected failure is and what can we choose? We can say that okay, we can take that latitude is latitude is not compatible. Okay, latitude is not compatible, and the failure is detected by the ES system. And now he wanna search and he wanna look about the search conditions. Is that color? Okay, and the digital failures latitude is not found there. And now you wanna see about that detected failures latitude is not compatible. But now the ES system automatically should be there. This is a very speed up program. Not absolutely. It will only take milliseconds or nanoseconds to proceed, because very critical conditions there when crashing an airplane. So the ES system should be worked very efficiently and used most powerful systems, most powerful processors, most powerful databases, most speediest data lines, most speediest data buses. So the detects a failure, because the failure detection should be done in nanoseconds, I think, because now Aeroplane, the ES systems, AI developing uses nanoseconds, some kind of, I don't know, that much speed away. Okay, the detect failures latitude. So now he wanna find out, I mean yes, express system. Now he wanna find out what is there's a brush there, no? Okay, there's a brush. No, it's not. There's a browser. Okay, this matter. And he want to check about that. Now detect a failure latitude. So he want to connect to the database, and it's going, and it is connected to the database, and through the database he's going to the history of the aeroplane. And so what is for that? And he is checking his I don't use his es is checking. Es is checking now. How many times that failure occurred? Occurred before, and what were the reasons? Okay, what were the reasons? And in such conditions, what were the pilots did? What did the pilot do? And you want to check out that what were the conditions at the moment. And also yes, want to check up that we can predict what were the conditions at the moment, and I will explain that. Altitudes and altitudes, temperatures, and etc. And so and check about all the altitudes, temperature, and shadows when that crashed aeroplane was in the such condition. You want to check out with that, and you want to check and all of the conditions. And now now in the DCS system is very complex system, not simple, and used very complex models and very complex instructions in there. So what were the conditions at the moment? Altitudes, temperatures, and etc. So now you want to check about that the physical failures that commonly happen, physical information, and the physical information that now we can think that conditional optional conditions, we can think about that. Let's take about that just like this. And if any physical damages happened using sensors, I think. Okay, can use sensors, using sensors, cameras, cams, etc. And now you check about that these damages happen. And now the failures detected and the history, and that is called accelerated data mining, and that is called as data mining, because when we are mining data, and now that is called data mining. Now absolutely now we check the history now. So some kind of scientists has some fixings and has some development to get prevent from those some kind of those accidents. So now ES want to check about also those, and ES wanna check up about fixings, fixings that used by scientists. You want to check about fixing that's used by, because and you want to check about that scientists have developed in that condition to this plane. We take that to this plane. What we used, I can't remember that. A30, no? Yeah, A30, because now if the errors have been fixed, those, because when we are talking about taking look about that history, but maybe the scientists have fixed some kind of errors. So ES system want to know about also this, because no need to worry about that fixed reasons, no. So now we are trying to find what are those fixings used by scientists. And now ES No, we place that because there's insufficient spacing. Oh shit, what did you yeah, there. Okay, I think it's very clear. Okay, it is, and that one. Okay, now in the ES is checking how many times a failure occurred before, because what were the reasons, and in such condition what were the pilots do, and such kind of steps respectively. And now you want to check about that. And now the immediate action should be get by ES. Immediate action. Okay, immediate actions mean not he, that we can use ES. No, he is absolutely like a human, because we have to get pay them, we have to get honor them, because ES saves lives and we wanna worship them. And the ES now on immediate action. Now ES wanna calculate. Okay, calculate needed status. Yes, want to calculate needed status, because now if I think that's the throttle condition is not sufficient, because we have to increase the throttle, and yes, want to calculate needed status. And using, I think we have to use models. Yes, advanced mathematical, I think, because we have to use maths for that, and other mathematical models. And now automatically configure required attributes. Okay, attributes we can use, required attributes to prevent. Okay, to prevent the crash. Okay, now absolutely we can't 100% trust those ES, because it is also system, so there are some limitations. Because according to the history, I think that the history is not listed about some kind of failures, so the AI needs to predict, and thinking ability, there should be thinking ability, so think and using those some kind of advanced models to think that what should we do. So I don't know that side, because very advanced and complex. I'm just doing the basic structure and the basic idea and the concept about that ES system in Aeroplane. So I don't know actually about that prediction ability, how to give prediction ability to a processor, because I'm not studied yet, but I'll have to study, and later I will study and give it to you. And should automatically configure required attributes to prevent the cache, and immediately need to alerted the most nearest airports. Oh, it is here. I use it. Okay, and that is the immediate action should be taken. And the immediate action is, so the ES want to calculate status using this model, because it should automatically configure the required attributes to prevent the cache, and immediately need to alert the most nearest airport or some kind of relevant spot. And now we can choose that. We get to the example. Where's my photo? Okay, there. No, there. Okay, and we have to take that. Now the ES system, some kind of what are we called for that? Oh yeah, some system alerts the passengers to not to be panic and just stay calm. We are safe in use. Some kind of things to the passengers, because we don't need to get them depressed about that condition. We have to get that more motivated in such condition. So that is as an optional part of that ES. And the error is fixed, doesn't matter. And absolutely not, doesn't matter, because very doubtable reason, and the ES system, we cannot guarantee about that because it is using a system and according to those facts. So if any fact or some kind of fail there, so the whole ES system fail, because it doesn't happen, because ES system also be configured to, if some kind of failure happens of the facts, so skip those and get optional ways. So that is very advanced and complex, because the ES and develop AI system, and this is a basic idea. So you have to get the logical and the prediction knowledge to understand that's a kind of ES system. And that's a basic kind of ES system there, but it's an expert system. And now you can get a better idea. So if you have further questions, just ask me what is that. And if you want this on Sinhala language, I will also contact that, because someone requested me to do it in English, so I used English. But if you want it Sinhala, just I can express you in Sinhala. Doesn't matter, but the only thing you have to understand and get focused about that. What I used as resources, I used internet as resources and my logical mind to get predictions, and no only resources, because I don't think that's a condition of tutorial is better release before. That's me. I don't know that. I don't think, because this is my mind concept and not related some kind of these. I got my resources from internet frames and such kinds. I predicted some kind of knowledge about my mind. And if you have further questions, so some kind of errors or bugs in my tutorial, just need to inform me. That's wrong, that should not be, some kind of thing. Allow to have your comments. Okay. Thank you. And that's actually that is a concept, and that is the I think that is the logical design. So the physical design should be implementation. So implementation should be done according to the some kind of project implementation method. So, and now the database is coded, should be coded. As example, the database is coded using SQL. I don't think SQL is more compatible in this kind of ES system, but I use that example. So SQL should be there. So the some kind of things have been. No, I'm going to say that absolutely the Python. The Python is mostly used for AI. That's I need to tell it. I do need to tell it, because the Python is the mostly used language for AI. I need to tell about that again and again and again. I'm not telling that only AI or only Python is used for AI, but mostly Python is used for AI. And now you wanna take a better idea about that. And no, I'm just forgot that automated dynamic models. Then now those are the models. I'll explain that. What are the models? Yes, these are the models. Okay, you don't understand, you have to get the predictions. These are the models. Okay, these are the different models. Okay, these are the models that we are questions. What is that? Now ES system models using that is engine interpreter. Okay, asking from himself that, or yes, yes, okay, then that is it. Okay, speed exceeding decreasing, no, normal, throttle channels are working correctly, no, failure. That's kind of models. So that is the model base used in ES. I predicted, I don't think that is perfectly 100% correct, but I predict those, and you wanna get a better idea about that. And thank you all of you. Just any further questions, just direct it to me. And thank you. Someone requested me to do a introduction about AI, so I predicted an AI. So there should be a lot of failures and bugs in that tutorial. You wanna related me. Don't angry with me if there's any failure, and you can correct me, because I like your comments and I like your replies. Okay, thank you. Bye.